Why, hello, all of you Days of Our Lives fans. Welcome back. We haven't seen you since last year. It is Dishin
Yay.
Days. And I am your host, Tony Moore, and I am joined by my gaggle of gals. We have still bringing in the new year with the lumberjack look.
The lumberjack look is timeless, no matter what year we're in. Even though it still feels like 2020. Let's face it, we're still. It's no different than it was a year and a half ago.
This is true. You might be onto something. But who are you?
Anyway, I'm Michael Mattis.
Hello, Michael Mattis.
Hello.
And,
Hello.
Down there with the bookshelf full of books
that I've read all. Yes.
And of course, the lovely and cheerful.
Cheerful.
Most of the time.
Hi, everybody. I'm Araceli Aviles. We'll see. Let's see how the show progresses.
What's in your mug?
Oh, it's just tea.
Oh, okay, I have coffee.
Don't be fooled, fans. I literally went through a lot of alcohol these last few weeks. So
wow.
This is
and Justin with his giant jug of whatever drink he's in.
Concoction as
well. Yeah.
My gosh. Well, welcome back, everybody. You can still find us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook, Dishin Days on Instagram, and _Dishin Days on the Twitter. The @ is still figuring out 2022. And of course, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel right here. You're probably watching us live either on YouTube, Twitter, or Facebook. But if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, you can find us on your favorite podcast stations. We're on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google, and wherever else podcasts can be found. And of course, my favorite line, buy our merch. It's still there if you want to buy it. Some new stuff is coming up, so make sure you stay tuned to that. And of course, for your full soap opera fix, make sure you head over to My Chocolate Twins YouTube channel, JLJ Media, where you can find not only a recap of General Hospital, Bold and the Beautiful, and I believe Young and the Restless. Yeah, I think he does that too. But you can also find some amazing original audio dramas brought to you by Mr. James Lott Jr. So make sure you head over to JLJ Media on YouTube. After this, I was going to say right now, but stay with us.
No, don't go right now.
Yeah, don't go anywhere right now. Oh my gosh, I feel like I haven't done this in so long. And that's it. Those are the church announcements. I believe those are the church announcements. Are those all the church announcements?
I believe so. Except I found this one.
What? How do you like your mozzarella sticks? Was that really in there?
Yeah. I don't remember why we were talking about mozzarella sticks. I think someone on the show was eating them. And and we were discussing whether we liked them crunchy or not.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm deleting it because
I like them in large quantities.
Obviously,
with zucchini sticks on the side.
All right. So what did you guys think of this week's episodes of Days?
A lot of talking this week. A lot of talking. Not much movement with anything.
Right.
Except Sammy and Lucas, but that was really quick, and I have thoughts about that.
That was super quick.
Super quick and very, I have thoughts. But other than that, it was a pretty, ho-hum week.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
This week, I have to, again, this is the 2020 vibe in me saying it feels like brand new stuff and then not. And I had to remind myself, this is only the first week in January. This is just the first week. But at the same time, it felt like, if you caught the tail end of Friday's episode, which we'll discuss, it felt like, that last week of, that last Christmas week was meant to lift us up. And then it felt like this is 2022.
Yeah.
This is what 2022 is going to be like, guys. That last few seconds was like, you thought that you were going to have a good new year.
Not in Salem.
Yeah.
Not here.
I liked it. There were a few scenes that were kind of like weird to me for me, and I guess we'll get into it when we discuss the plots. But there were a couple scenes where I was like, "Where's it going with this?" Or it didn't make sense, or there were like some continuity issues. So yeah, I'm curious when we talk about it. But I thought it was fine overall. I thought Carson was like the standout this week, which was nice.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. I thought this week was. I mean, I feel like it's like an info week. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it was just their chance to kind of get some things going and rebuild some things and kind of, you know, place people in the directions that they need to. Yeah. But let's break it on down. For the first time in 2022, it is now time to start Dishin Days. Wow. Almost there until Michael Mattis had a lag as if he was.
I had a lag?
A little bit.
Y'all had a lag.
No, that was you. You were
that
like
was you. That was y'all.
No, that was you because we were all like Dishin Days. You were like Dishin Days.
One day we'll get it. One day.
This is how I talk. What?
All right, you guys. Let's start off with the top storyline with Johnny, Chanel, Allie, Trip, Paulina, EJ, Tony, Anna, and of course John, Marlena, and Susan. Okay. I have to ask this first because one day I feel like I woke up and chose violence because so many fans do not like the devil storyline. We've talked about it before, I'm sure, but it just surprises me that a lot of people are not on board with this storyline. And I understand that it has to do with the devil. You're not supposed to bring the devil in your house and everything like that. But before we dive into it, overall, how do you all feel about the devil storyline?
I think it's been the most entertaining part of the show since it started back in, when did it start? September?
Mm-hmm.
Like September, like fall. And I think what was really great about this storyline is that it gave everybody involved a time to like shine, and obviously Deidre playing the devil was really very, very entertaining, and she really, you know, sold it as this like devil with an attitude kind of thing, and just annoyed with everybody. And but honestly, like, you know, Bill Hayes was a standout. Ooh. Susan Hayes was a standout. The 3 zombies that came back, I feel like they were given kind of, and everybody involved with those zombie episodes, like Ari Zucker, I'm calling them character. I'm just gonna call them character names. Trip and Alley, Lindsay Arnold, and Lucas Adams. Like it was a really, and they feel like it was a really creative way to bring back this storyline, so it wasn't just a carbon copy of what happened 25 years ago. Also, you know, Stacey Hayduk as Susan, and you know, we got those really great scenes with Susan and EJ, which was a result of the storyline. So yeah, I think it for 2021, I think this was probably for me the most entertaining, and I was the most engaged with it. And it led to a lot of great things for other characters. I hear myself.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't hear me. I don't hear it anymore. No more echo. But anyway, no, I just think it's been really good for the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same here. I've really enjoyed it. I've liked the direction they've taken with it. I think Deidre has got a chance to shine where she doesn't usually a lot. I think she's sort of settled into being like therapist Marlena for a lot of it, and here she got something to really like sink her teeth into. I love the bringing in of the generations and making it like a multi-generational storyline. I like the skepticism too of it, where it's like, even though this happened in town 25 years ago, there's still skeptics on the show. Yeah, I've been really pleased with it. I'm interested to see where it goes now, because I think people were maybe getting a little tired of it and were like, okay, we're moving on from it, and now maybe we're not moving on from it, even though it's a different character. So I'm curious to see where that goes, but I've liked it overall. Again,
it was a great way to twist it, so that and you know, really, really surprise us. I think that was like a brilliant move.
Look, from a character storyline, this has been brilliant for all involved. When you think about how I've said this, that it's interwoven for generations. You know how hard that is to do on any show? Like to have an umbrella storyline that's been going on for 5 months now? That's hard to do and to keep people's interest. You can hate it, but you're still watching, aren't you? You hate, even if you hate it.
Well, let's hope people are.
And this is not something that you can afford to turn away from. I'll put it that way. As I look at, as the religious, as someone who is very close to her faith, I get people's anger towards it, but at the same time, guys, that Christmas Eve episode, I felt very powerfully. I was watching it. I felt like very close to my faith in that moment. Like everyone surrounded like a house together under God, under Eric, who had renewed faith. It felt very powerful to me. I even looked up. I was like, oh, it's like because I had my cross up, so I was like looking at it as I was watching it. And so I get it, but you guys gotta like also realize, hey, you know what? The show is also taking steps. Deidre said this. They're taking steps to kind of keep everything safe on set. So everybody just kind of like simmer down a little bit. I promise you guys, the payoff will be worth it.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay, sorry. I was trying to because I saw in the chat that someone was hearing the high pitch sound too. It's from me, sorry, but I'm not a technician, so I can't fix it. So bear with us, everyone. So for me, I too have found this to be a very interesting storyline. I missed the Possession 1.0, so I'm glad I'm here for 2.0. I also found myself, and I probably shouldn't have, been laughing at the devil a lot because of a lot of the things he said. Like, one of the things that we didn't get a chance to discuss was the exorcism. And when the devil was like, oh, senior slut, helping out junior slut. And I was just like, it's so funny. But then
we got like the devil threw more shade this time around than
a lot of shade.
Yeah.
And I also felt like, I watched that episode, The Exorcism, at 11:30 at night, and I was in tears because I love the combination of, even if you're not watching it for religious reasons, I like the fact that the show is keeping religion and faith and love at the forefront of how to defeat evil. You know what I mean? And so, even though you may not like the devil, no one does. They're driving that portion home while also showing what the devil's plan is. You know what I mean? So it's such this interesting interwoven thing. And now, shocking, the transfer of the devil into Johnny has me more interested in okay, well, the devil is Johnny. What will he do? How quickly will everyone catch on? Because after the exorcism, I was just like, this can't be it. Like, it's like, Doc, John. Like, I was just like, girl, that can't be it. You know what I mean?
It was interesting because I thought that too. I was like, this can't be over. But then in my mind, I was like, but what else are they going to do? Like, I never even thought, I think Ron mentioned that the devil might, go into other people or whatever. Some other people might be affected, but that's already kind of happened a couple times. Like Susan got possessed for a moment and turned into Kristen, and we had all that. So I thought, oh, that's what he was talking about. But what we didn't know was that, oh no, Marlena's going to get exorcised, but the devil's still going to come back in someone else. And I think it was a great choice for Johnny to be that character, because he's the one that brought all of this back up again with his movie months ago.
And I really have to give props to Carson Boatman, who he has not been on the show very long. He already had the pressure of having to be the son of Sammy Brady and EJ Jamira. That's a lot of pressure already. Yeah. And then to a couple months into your gig, be told, oh, you're also going to be front burner like the devil in a major storyline 26 years in the making.
Yeah.
I mean,
and after playing it after Deidre Hall, like
yes, after Deidre, who is a legacy in herself, and she also plays your grandma. That's, I mean, what an insane amount of pressure, and he really was, and he's rolling with it.
Yep.
But I hope he had a conversation with Deidre, and Deidre gave him some tips, because what and we'll get into the storyline right after this. What I liked is seeing how much fun Deidre was having, just kind of playing this catty, sometimes cunty, shady, like person. You know what I mean? And by the cunty part, like in the LGBTQIA, it's like being very fierce and extra and all that. Not like bad, but like, you know, but just like really, like you could tell that she was having a ton of fun. So I'm interested to see how it's going to be with Johnny. But now going into it, what do we think about the rest of the storyline? Because Johnny and Chanel are married. They're at this engagement party. Tony and Anna are back. Like there's a lot that happened in this storyline. Oh, and I'm sorry. One quick note. Shout out to Sal Stowers and Richard, who I think is head of wardrobe, because that black dress that she had on at the wedding reception, there was a moment where I was like,
when she entered, she made an entrance to that thing.
She did,
especially because I believe in the previous scenes she was just kind of casual, and then she showed up. She made an entrance to that party. Yeah, I noticed that too. It was like, oh, dang, all right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of get a little controversial here, and I'm going to say, because when we learned that Johnny was going to be the one who the devil got into, I kept thinking, why him? What made him so, appealing to the devil? And I kept coming back to something that I don't know if it was Shakespeare or what, a house divided. I kept thinking Eric kept saying, we have to work together as a family, have to be united. And Sammy and Belle, yes, were tiffing, but for the most part, all that stuff was kind of like behind them. Like that's just how that's just their relationship. That's going to be how they are. But Allie and Johnny had not put their argument to bed before they walked into that room. And for that reason, I believe that Johnny was chosen.
It left him more vulnerable.
Yes, I think so. A house divided, because they had not settled. They said, okay, we're going to put it to the side, but they had not settled their argument before they walked into that room. So it's for that reason I think Johnny was chosen, which is, I hate it. That part I hate about it. I hate because I've said this about that foursome, about Trip, Allie, Johnny, and Chanel, that they've just been my favorite people on the canvas for months now, because they've been so honest and sincere with each other. Allie's been a little bit but for the most part, everybody is trying to be earnest, at least. And Chanel and Johnny went into this marriage impulsively, yes, but with full and open hearts. And so, oh man, my heart is sinking. I really don't know if I'm going to be able to watch Monday's episode. I really don't.
Oh, because when he made that whole, first of all, the faces that everyone makes with Johnny, like Allie was always like,
the hell?
Yeah.
Like what? And there was even one time Chanel was even like,
well, yeah, when he bolted into the party and was like, here's Johnny. Everyone was just kind of like, the fuck?
Yeah.
No.
So even Marlena, I feel like picked up something when he stopped over and was just kind of like, I feel like he's not himself.
Yeah.
And what I like is that there's already some indication that like something's off, which makes me wonder, because the whole time I kept thinking, okay, at any moment he's gonna go, did you really think that I was over this, Marlena? I was waiting for that. You know what? Actually, okay, so here's something. I actually thought that because we were was it us that was in a group text?
Yeah.
That mentioned it?
Mention
and then that mentioned like that. Oh yes, we were, because I think Michael Mattis, you might have texted like, oh, what a twist.
Yeah.
Yes. And
yeah, I
then,
texted you guys in like all caps, like, God.
Yeah.
And then James Lott Jr. texted me immediately after and was like, don't go on social media. It's going to ruin it for you.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. And I was like, okay, sweet. So I'm sitting there watching the episode because I felt like I had to just hurry up, because I was like, it's gonna be ruined for me. So I need to just watch it. And as I was watching it, Twitter decided to notify me that Ron had tweeted, and it was like goodbye, Mar-Devil, hello, and I just saw J.O. Devil, and I was like, oh, the devil's gonna go in the John. Like, this is gonna be interesting. So I'm watching it, and there's the New Year's Eve kiss, and they cut to John and Marlena, and I was like, this is it. He's gonna kiss, they're gonna hug, he's gonna open up, and it's gonna go, you know, that whole like sound, and his eyes are gonna be yellow. So then that didn't happen, and I was like, what's happening? And then, like, you know, Allie and Trip are kissing, and Chanel's like, where's Johnny? And Johnny's all getting ready, and then he looks in the mirror, and he's like, did you really think that I... And I was like, it's Johnny? So I was still excited. I was going somewhere with that, and then I lost my train of thought. Sorry.
I was completely thrown off with Fridays, because I thought when I saw, like, oh, Johnny's now possessed, I was like, oh, is this how they're going to continue, like, the baby storyline? Is it, like, to get Chanel pregnant? That's what I thought they were
doing. That's what I thought, because they were doing it
like
they
were banging all after.
Yeah, and he was so, like, wanting to have sex a lot, and I was like, oh, okay, that's like, the new plan. Like, we moved off from Sierra and Ben's baby. We're going to, like, just inhabit a guy who's married and blah, 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 blah. And then, like, when he sort of dumped her, or sort of was like, I want out of this at the end, I was like, oh, I'm completely thrown now. So now I I'm interested in even more, since I don't know where it's going now.
Like, what's the devil's new plan?
Yeah.
Since his other baby plan was foiled. Like, is he still going to be after a baby, or
is it still Sierra and Ben, technically, just with Johnny now making the moves? Which
but he has zero ties to them.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
It's weird, and yeah, I just have no idea where this is going now, other than I feel my heart sinking for all of Johnny's loved ones, because when Marlena was repossessed, I think we all kind of knew, you know, John was going to pick up on this very quickly because he'd had prior experience to this. No one's going to have any clue, or at least I don't, unless they're looking for it. Unless somebody is paying very close attention to Susan, it's just it just feels like Johnny was an easy target, and therefore this is gonna be like round 2 is gonna be much harder, much more difficult.
I feel like round 2 is gonna be quick. I mean, I don't know, but I feel like they've been prepping all this sort of skepticism and weariness about Marlena being repossessed, and now to have it be Johnny, I feel like people may pick up on it a lot sooner.
I hope so.
I mean,
the consequences are worse for him.
Last, but
well, we just talked about that, how everyone is kind of like looking at him because he's doing like some strange stuff. So I think it might be picked up, you know, a little bit quicker than it was before. I mean, seeing as how the devil just left Marlena, and you know, he has all the same symptoms. Like, you know, because when he was like, I'm just tired, Marlena was like, huh. So yeah, but I think that is the first time. I lost my train of thought again. What is happening? I totally forgot.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say. Wait. I wait. I always have to go back. I looked at something. Whatever. I lost it.
Yeah.
Oh, that is what everyone is wondering. Like, what is the goal in the end game? And I think that is what will hopefully. I think if people maybe knew like the goal, then I think that people would be into it more.
Yeah.
I think I just find it interesting because I'm just like, now he's hopped into Johnny. So now, okay, now what are we going to do? Is the goal still Sierra and Ben's baby? Is it him going to try to create his own baby? Like, what exactly is he going to do? Because right now, it's just entertaining to see everyone play the devil. You know what I mean? And it's interesting to see, okay, now that Johnny is the devil, what's going to happen? You know what I mean? Yeah. But I think at some point we need to know, all right, what exactly is your goal and target? Because I think we were okay with he had vengeance on Marlena.
Yeah.
He wanted to come back and get vengeance on her and continue wreaking havoc on Salem through her. But I don't think now we're just kind of like, all right, girl, like you've been in Salem for quite some time. Like, when are you, like, we're treating the devil like Corona. It's like, okay, girl, you've been here for a minute. Like, when are you leaving? Like, you know what I mean? So I don't know.
Thus my thoughts on the beginning of 2022.
Yes. Yeah. But I think also as fans, we just, it's entertaining and it's interesting. So we just have to stay with it because I think sooner or later, something's going to be that's what you about to do now sort of a moment.
Yeah. I got to say, I love Paulina with the Demiras. I like that combination. And this is why I think I said this maybe a few weeks ago. Like, they need to broaden her character a bit and get her out of like the Abe Ani orbit a bit. And I'm liking her with the Demiras.
This was the only fun part of Friday was watching Paulina and Anna. Why didn't I think of them being friends before?
I love those two together. Yeah.
Oh, I was like, Kooky and Kooky. Yeah, this is going to be a match made in heaven.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And I love when EJ was like, the decor, you know, and she's like, what? What do you have to say about the decor? I love her.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, he called her new money. I was like, oh wow, okay, we're going there.
Oh my god, that's so Titanic, 1912.
I love it. It's I like that because you're right. I like it out of the Abe Lani orbit. And at some point, I'm like, Lani, just forgive her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like she had a good enough reason to do what she did. As a parent, it's hard to make that decision.
Yeah.
And she obviously had to make that decision. But it ate her up this whole entire time. Why it chose now to come out, I don't know. But it's kind of like, it's now out. You now know the truth. Like, anything can happen. Just try to forgive and move on. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I just think Lani needs to decide what she's mad about. Because if she's mad about the shift, I think if she's mad about the shift in her life now, that the life that she knew is not the life that she knew, I get being upset about. But if she's going to continuously come down on Paulina for lying, for betraying, I'm just like, what? I come back to, well, what else would you have had her do? Like, seriously.
Right.
I think she's slowly softening, though.
Yeah.
Like, very
Lani?
but yeah, I think Lani is. Little by little.
I think she is too. I think at some point she's just they're gonna have like a conversation, and then all will be fine. At least I hope so. I hope that Tony and Anna remain on the canvas for quite some time. I do like their energy of just coming in and kind of being thrust in this.
Yeah.
I feel like they come in, witness all the bullshit, and then leave. And they're just like, no, don't need to stick around for this. We'll just come back for the parties. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. And that's pretty much it with that storyline.
There was one part there was one like adjacent scene that someone brought up that I noticed that was just kind of thrown in there towards the end of Friday's episode, how Eli reacted when he sat down and heard the babies crying on the monitor.
I don't think that was miffed. That's not miffed. Well, no, not at Lani. I don't know if he it was the question if he's miffed at Lani or his twin.
The comment was about them showing Eli miffed while the party was going on and he was at home with the twins. He sat down with a beer getting ready to turn on the TV. One of the babies started crying and he had
every parent in the universe who just got their toddlers down and then they start crying 5 minutes later.
But why did they show that? There had to be a point to showing that.
That to me had nothing to do with Eli. That to me was a signal because I heard the baby crying. I was like, something's wrong. They never show a baby crying unless something is wrong with the baby.
That was actually one of the scenes. That's what I was talking about when I said earlier. I was like, oh, what does that scene mean? Because it was so weird. There wasn't really a conclusion. He just sat down and was like interrupted.
I just felt like his reaction was very not like maybe more like I said miffed, but I meant like just kind of like very annoyed with it. And I'm just like, okay, I'm curious what the point of that was, like you said.
Yeah, like where they were trying to fill time or something.
That had I as someone who has been through that with many a toddler, I'm telling you right now, that to me was a signal that something's wrong with the babies.
But I Michael Myers, I see what you're saying. There's something to that.
It's a very basic comment. I'm curious where they're going with that, whether it's something with Eli, whether it's something with the babies. That was my comment.
Yeah, I'm almost positive it's something wrong with the babies.
Because it's also the way it was shot. So he sat down and I took it as him being like, I just sat down, cracked open a beer, and now the babies are up. Man. But it was the way he left and they panned to the monitor. Yeah. And I thought the monitor was about to start doing something.
I did too.
But
the monitor was reaching him, or the babies or something,
But then I'm also kind of like, I can see, Justin, what you're saying is that like they cut it, and they were like, we need another minute. And they were just like,
it's just been a filler. I mean, it could have just been a filler,
Well, because okay, so remember the random scene with Kate and Julie, and we were like, what? Like, it could have been like that. Like, except this one made more sense.
That's exactly what I thought. I felt like there were two of them this week, but we'll get to the other one.
Oh, I think I know what you think the other one was.
Yeah.
But again, that one fit as well. Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of, I think the other one is coming up in this next one. It's Jack, Jennifer, Gwen, Abigail, Xander, Maggie, Steve, and Kayla. Before we dive deep, was this one of the scenes, Justin?
I think, I was thinking later, but
the scene with Kate.
Yeah, exactly.
With Kate and
Jennifer.
You know what I thought too. I was like, oh, they must have needed some time, so they want this.
Because it wasn't. That storyline has been buried for so long. Like they've moved on. Like it wasn't needed. Mm-hmm. It didn't serve really anything. So it could have been just filler, which if that's the case, they always call Lauren Koslow for the filler scenes. I'm like, and her hair was a little different than in the rest of the episode, I noticed.
It was weird too, because also when Caddy played Jennifer, they sort of made up and say it. Wait, no.
Katie,
sorry. I was thinking, I always do a
we know. Thinking of the cattiness of the show.
Exactly. This sort of made up on the scene in the pub. So I thought why are they bringing back this tense rivalry when they're all fine with each other? It was very strange to me.
Or maybe I thought, because they really gave Missy the Melissa Reeves the comeback line.
The line,
And so I was like, maybe they needed something to kind of like give Missy, let's not forget and let's see how Missy would have reacted to it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So maybe, I don't know.
It was strange to say the least.
But in this storyline, I found it interesting that Jack and Jennifer were just up and leaving.
Yeah.
I love that it's for, to go save a newspaper in Boston. And that, okay, before we go further, I have to ask this. Did we all think that Abigail will end up as a reporter and over the Salem Spectator?
It doesn't. It not necessarily expected it, but it makes sense.
Does it?
I feel like she went down this direction once before. Wasn't she covering the Spectator for them at one point, or for Jennifer at one point?
She's been a reporter the last couple of years. That's been her job.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So it made sense, even though like we don't see her actively
we just don't see her doing
working, which we don't really see anyone actively working on the show except Demira people.
Yeah.
But no, it makes sense that so she's been a reporter. That's right. You're right. She's been a reporter. So yeah, it makes sense that she would take over the Spectator, even though she was going to be an actress 2 months ago. Whatever. I guess we'll just forget that.
Okay. So what it is is that the reason why it seems so off-putting to me is because they didn't consistently drive that.
Yeah.
That she was a reporter and that she liked investigating and reporting and things like that. So it seemed a little jarring to me that all of a sudden she is being left the Spectator and she had just put out, this story and now she's going to help, now then she put out the story about Philip and checked in with Maggie and now she's going to work with Xander about Sarah. So for me, it was just kind of like, wait, what? Like, oh, so is this the profession that we're gonna give Abigail? Like, you know what I mean? So it and I guess it's because we didn't consistently see it.
Yeah. We haven't seen it work in a while.
Yeah. So I think that's what it was. Speaking of Gwen.
She needs to chill.
Yeah.
She is showing her hand it's too obvious.
Girl, stop shooting yourself in the foot. Man.
Yeah, just calm down. Just let just stay silent and then, let Abigail do her thing and then just from the side start, But her reaction was like, you can't do that. You're just trying to destroy my life. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, girl, you are so obvious. Which maybe that's, that's her character. Has that fear of abandonment. And
even with Jennifer, she was so reactionary.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
What I don't understand is why is it that everyone is always afraid of losing someone to someone else? Like, I don't want anyone that I feel like can be that, I don't have wholeheartedly. I would be like, here's Sarah. I'm gonna be here. If you want to come back to me, then I'll be here. But I'm not going to fight for the rest of my life to be a part of your life because, this situation happened.
Yeah. What have I been saying for months? Oh my God. And it's with okay, I'm not going to get into every other character because we got to talk about the other things, but Philip, Lucas, Sammy, Gwen, Nicole, all these characters. Ava, all these characters. And I've been saying for months. Why the hell? You're either chasing after people who don't deserve you or you're being treated like dead weight. What the heck?
I would be like, you want to find Sarah? Let go. And then when they find Sarah, be like, okay. So here's the tea. There's me. Right. There's her. What we doing? Oh, you gonna go to her?
Yeah.
And just like hit it. It's like
Yeah.
Because at this point, I'm like for Xander and Gwen, because that's who's been together. Like, I loved Sarah and Xander together, but then that happened.
Yeah.
But I'm just like,
look, I will say that at least the only person this pattern of behavior makes sense with at this moment is Gwen, because of her abandonment issues. I know what all the other people's problems is. I know other people are on my 2022 shit list. But at least with Gwen, it makes sense.
Agreed.
You know, even in 2022, texts from my mother will never stop.
Is that why you're buzzing over there?
Yes. She's like, that's what I'm talking about, with the laugh emoji. She also told me to stay focused, because I guess she's caught on that every time I talk, I tend to like lose my my train of thought. So she's like, stay focused. And I'm like, and I just put laugh out loud, but I want to be like, I'm getting older, so my train of thought is like,
We have been, sorry, Mama Mar. All of us, I think, are feeling the same way. We're dragging into 2022.
Yes.
We really are. We're just like, another year.
We
this
are
is hard.
We are definitely dragging. This is very interesting. Sorry, I wanted to see how this worked, but we're also, I mentioned earlier, we're live on Twitter, so they send out a thing that shows us being live on Twitter too. So yay! There's no reason why people can't find us.
Right?
Okay.
Thank you.
Literally everywhere.
But yeah. So and this whole thing of like Gwen, I get that it's great drama to have tension, but I'm also just kind of like, can we just, she did what she did. She's been trying to be redeemable. Jack, that's your daughter.
Yeah.
You know, love on her. Abigail, decide whether you want to have a relationship with her or not. If you're like, you know what, you done too much, then like, let's just be that. And then just be cordial. Let's not keep having all this unnecessary tension.
Yeah.
Every time Gwen and the rest of the family are in the room. So I always feel like when Gwen is in the room with them, she's always like, yes. No, like, you know, like very that. Yeah. I'm like, no, let's just like, let's take it back to the Gwen who came in, who was strong-willed and smart, and like had this diabolical plan to take this family down.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm glad she sees the softer side of Sears, but let's not lose the fact that she is a strong woman.
Yeah.
I like the Gwen that was Jake's girlfriend and was never happy with him.
What?
Remember that? I don't know. I thought it was funny when she was Jake's girlfriend and was just always mad at him.
I will say I really liked the scene with her and Jennifer. I thought like Missy was great in that. They were both great in that scene, but I like that Missy sort of had a chance to shine a little bit.
They were really trying hard this week to push Jennifer.
Yeah, right.
I felt like, I was like, okay.
I know everybody loves Missy, but Missy is not coming back right away. Okay, there's everybody saying, "Oh, Missy's back." It's like, yeah, she's back for a hot minute, and then she's going back. Yeah.
Well, there's that.
She'll be back, but just not for a while.
Yeah.
An official diagnosis. The official diagnosis.
Gwen acts like she has severe hypertension and anxiety. Oh,
she's going to give herself an anxiety attack very soon. It's not far off the money right there.
I'm glad that Xander and Maggie are kind of trying to figure out what happened with Sarah.
Yeah.
I'm glad that reporter Detective Abigail is on the case.
Dude, does anyone find it odd that Xander isn't? Because when he and Rex were having that conversation in the pub, and they were going through how Kristen had the cape mask on and paraded around as cape.
Yeah, right.
And there's no inkling like maybe Kristen did that with Sarah. It's like not even,
Things that went over Xander's head this week.
It totally did. Yeah.
Also, I noticed that Rex didn't clarify that he didn't sleep with Sarah. I felt like that would have been like a clue of like, oh, maybe it was like he sort of left that part out that she stopped them. Like once Xander left, it was like, oh, I don't want to have sex with you anymore. It was like, I'm surprised he didn't mention
that actually.
Yeah. I feel like that would have been a clue of like, oh, well, why would she stop? Or like, maybe it's not her, or I don't know.
Xander kept saying, it's like the next day she was someone else.
Exactly.
It's like the next day she was.
And then Rex even volunteered the fact that Damaris have an island where they stick people when they want them to disappear. And I was like, nope, Kate.
Let me tell you. Rex basically gave all the pieces of the puzzle.
Yes.
And Xander
all the dots
was just like
connect.
And then I love that Rex is so like unbothered by it though too. He's like, Sarah dumped me. I don't give a shit. Like I'm going back to Chicago. Like call me if you hear something.
Call me, beat me if you want to reach me. But Rex literally gave where Sarah could possibly be and what actually happened that day.
How it could have happened, how it could have transpired. Yeah, exactly.
I was sitting there like, Xander, like
he'll have. This is what's going to happen. He'll have like that conversation happened. It's now moved on. In like a few weeks or a month, it'll come back to him that Rex told him that. Then the light bulb will go off, and he'll be like, "Oh, that must have been what happened."
Yeah, I didn't understand the logic in that. I mean, I guess I like that they're distinguishing that Abigail is not a PI or a cop, that she is a reporter, because she was like very detailed in saying what she could not do.
Yeah.
But then going into details of all the stuff that she was going to do on her, and I'm like, we could avoid all of this if you guys just put 2 and 2 together.
Mm-hmm. Well, the math is mathin'. I mean, I feel like literally Rex was like, if 2 + 2 = 4, and 5 + 5 = 10, then Sarah waking up the next day and not being herself equals
Kristen in a mask.
Kristen in a mask.
Yeah.
And the real Sarah's on an island.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Yes, but Tony, it was kind of like they had that equation up on the board and you're about to solve it, and then you ignore it and go over to this side and start a different equation.
No, Xander still doesn't know what X equals.
Nope.
Everything has been laid out for him, right? And then it just says X equals what? And Xander's like,
Also, we're also coming off of Sammy being kidnapped and like the mysterious text messages. I was like, no one put this together. Like, you're just randomly getting text messages and no one's actually spoke to someone or heard their voice. Yeah. Well,
I mean, look, that could have been y'all could have just been randomly texting me. I wouldn't have known y'all were kidnapped if you were.
Well, this is true. Okay, this is true. I will say though, that like the person you are closest to in the world, like your mama, your daddy, your significant other, I feel like by that point should know what you sound like in a text.
My parents, maybe not. Like I would definitely know because my dad texts me in all caps all the time. So if he was ever kidnapped and someone started texting me in like full properly capitalized sentences, then I'd be like, something ain't right. But for me, he probably, he's at the, probably wouldn't pick up on that. He's not of the age of, he texts, but he's not of the age of texting. Like if he wants to have a conversation, he will call me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for someone like that, maybe not, but for some, like a friend of mine who I text every day, I trust that they like my group text that they're texting me right now, actually. Like they would know. Absolutely. I trust that they would definitely know. They'd be like, he doesn't sound right. Yeah. He's not talking about Bimby every 2 minutes.
Yep.
Well, there's that. And hence we have given all clues on how to be us via text. Did anyone else find it strange that Kayla decided to go with Steve on the mission to find information about Philip?
Yeah, that was like, oh, okay.
I think she's just like, dude, I need a vacation. I don't care in what form it
but
comes.
you're the chief of the hospital. You can't just like, who did you talk to for this time? That was honestly my questions the entire time. I was like, who did you ask for this time off? Are you allowed to take off? Who approved it? Like, how long are you gonna be gone?
Is the chief of staff like everybody's boss? Like, can she do that and just be like,
I think
send
she
an email
only
and be
has
like,
to
yo,
answer to board
PTO
members.
Well, guys, remember now, Trip is now a full-fledged doctor, so he can handle, I guess, the whole load.
Oh, that's right. We got that little nugget.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I'm not a med student and I'm a doctor. I'm like, okay.
I would have liked to have seen that graduation.
Sidebar. Who made the comment? Was it Steve when they were recounting what had happened between Marlena and Kayla? Who was like, you sure you're just friends?
Oh, that little like weird lesbian scene. Yeah, it was like, oh, where are they going with this? It was so strange. That was another one that was strange. I was like, what is with the writing this week?
I was like, that's awkward.
Kayla was like, you kissed me. And Marlena was like,
she was like, oh, lesbian.
Like she started questioning her life. It was like, what? What is
she was like, who kissed you? Me? Me?
I love that out of everything she did, that was the thing that like really like that was the thing that like messed her up, was kissing Kayla.
Right.
Not torturing people, yeah.
The devil did say that he has no pronouns. He does not subscribe to pronouns. He's non-binary.
He's fluid, non-binary.
He'll kiss whoever the heck he wants to kiss.
Well, apparently he got tired of kissing Chanel because he said, I don't want to be with you.
Oh, man.
So after banging her all day.
It's gonna be a long month, guys.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much that storyline. You know, Jack and Jennifer are off to Boston. Gwen is terrified that they're going to find Sarah and they're going to be linked. Maggie and Xander are worried about Sarah and want to figure out where she is. And Abigail, detective reporter, is on the case.
As they ignore everything Rex told them.
Right. So now let's move on to the next storyline. We have Ava, Rafe, Nicole, EJ, Sammy, Lucas, and according to Michael Mattis, the damn bear.
Did you hear about the bear?
Dead.
I'm sorry, dude. You had to go. You gotta go.
Why did I think that Nicole was going to be smart and say, well, you know who did this? Come back from commercial. Ava. But instead, she goes, you know who did this? Cut to commercial. Sammy. And I'm like, girl.
I mean, Sammy is that petty, but Sammy would also own that pettiness.
Yeah. Sammy would be like, yeah, I cut up the bear, so.
And
she would have cut him up and then sent Nicole.
She would have left a note, and Sammy would have left a note or something. Yeah.
How do we feel about this Ava, Rafe, Nicole thing?
At least it's something different than what we've been getting from the storyline. Like, Eva's out of the kitchen. She's actually doing stuff. She has a personality.
Let me tell you something. There was nothing on that rag when she was wiping down that counter. There was no Clorox. There was no Lysol. There was no Mr. Clean. There was no wood shine. There was nothing on that rag when she was nothing.
Okay.
I feel like there are no stakes here. I think we were starting to like Rafe and Ava, and then it kind of fizzled for them, and they stopped paying attention to them. And now, like, Nicole was with EJ, and we were liking that. So I feel like there's no like.
There's been no consistency with any of these pairings for a while, you know, and so now we're in, you know, okay, so now Ava knows Rafe and Nicole slept together, but Rafe's acting like he wants to be with Ava. Nicole, EJ's trying to get Nicole back, even though 2 minutes ago he wanted to get back with Sammy, and Nicole's just like, you know what, fuck y'all, which rightfully so. Yeah, like she should be like, you know.
Here, I'm gonna wrap it up like a little bow. I don't like the fact that Ava has gone cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and is trying to keep Rafe knowing good and well that Rafe wants to be with Nicole. I don't like the fact that Nicole and Rafe are trying to deny their feelings for each other when they want to be with each other. I didn't like the fact that EJ broke up with Nicole via Sammy. and didn't have a chance to tell her, oh, I want to go back to Sammy, which, side note, I don't even know why he was going back to Sammy, because I didn't feel like they were like even strong enough at this time. I also don't like that Lucas was the rebound of Sammy, because EJ allegedly kidnapped her, according to her. Like, I was just like, this is too much.
Yeah.
For me.
Well, and you know, speaking of Sammy and her 180 about EJ and then going to Lucas, like I was reading on Twitter, like people are suspicious of that. Like she was just so over the top about it. And when I was watching it, I was just kind of like, yeah, it doesn't seem legit. It rings a little off to me.
Oh, like she's trying to trap him, maybe?
Like
maybe.
She was very adamant.
She was so adamant about it after, and it just it made me think, oh, there has to be something more to this than her actually wanting to be with Lucas. Like she's up to something. She's up to something.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
How did we feel about the reveal that Lucas was the kidnapper?
I thought it was an interesting twist, but then you're just like, Lucas, why?
Yeah.
It's disappointment in the character now.
All of my hatred at the last few months for Philip didn't go away. It just transferred to his brother.
Yeah.
How old are you people?
I mean, they're Kate's kids.
No, but all of them, everybody that Tony just named, who are all just making the stupidest romantic decisions. How old are you? The only person I am rooting for, I don't. All of these people, I hope, have terrible romantic relationships going into 2022, because all y'all fucked. You're all making terrible decisions. I don't feel sorry for any of you. The only person in this scenario I want justice for is Ava. I don't even care about the bear. The bear had to go.
Why do you want justice for Ava?
Because Ava, for the first time in the time that she's ever been on the canvas, was not obsessed with Steve, was trying to be in a honest-ish relationship. I'll put the stuff with Kristen to the side for a second. Yeah. And she gave Rafe multiple outs over and over and over and over.
She could have given herself an out. She could have said, I saw what you did.
No. Because after all of that, after months and months of giving Rafe an out, and him, I'm going to use the correct term because I believe it applies here, gaslighting her, making her believe that she wasn't seeing what she was seeing, and then lying to her face about what she did see.
Back then, they were still trying to sort their feelings. They were trying to hide them. They didn't know how they really felt about each other. Blah, 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 whatever. Ava was in the play, whatever. But once he hit them skivvies on the conference table, and while she was in jail, mind you, then he should have said, I can't do this. This is what happened, and just left it alone.
Which is why I say justice for Ava, because he had outs. He had
ain't no need for justice for Ava. Ava suspected. Ava saw it. Now Ava's in here being like, I'm going to get them back. No, just be like, peace out.
I agree with Araceli. I think for once Ava was kind of the victim in this situation.
I'm not saying that she's not, but I'm also saying that she could have gave herself a peace out.
Well, now she's going full on Ava, and instead she's just going to get revenge.
And I think she deserves it this time.
I mean, she was hurt. She was lied to. She was deceived after making Rafe how many effing dinners? How many lasagnas and bullshit?
Yeah. See, all those housewives who get convicted of killing their husbands, there's a reason. There's a reason.
What are you trying to do?
They're driven to it. They are driven to that point of insanity, constantly being gaslit, and then say, "Give me my food, woman."
You are really starting to sound like I met Ezekiel Young in Salt Lake City, and we hit it off right away. You're really starting to sound like part 2 of Cell Block Tango.
Hey, he had it coming.
He had it coming.
I kind of feel like Why won't the show like let Lucas win? You know what I mean? I feel
I
like
know he's
like let him win. Like he could let him get Sammy on his own. Or
well,
let
it's
him,
also so funny how everyone like when they hear Lucas, they're like, Lucas did that. They're like, he's not capable of that. He's such a pansy.
Well, it's because he's so sloppy. Like, how do you get into the Demare office and be like, oh, I'm like, girl, just give it up. Just say, you know what? I kidnapped Sammy.
Yeah. I mean, the whole reason I thought that Kristen was the one who kidnapped Sammy and Lucas never even entered my mind because I really didn't think Lucas would be that stupid. To think that this was going to work out in his favor. It's not.
I mean, so far it is. He done ran away with
Gotta have high hopes, you know.
But even in that, like when she said, went to the pub and chose him, she's like, okay, now let's get out of town before EJ finds out.
Yeah, it felt like he was catching on to it, so I thought maybe he would like turn her down, and then it was like, oh, he went with her. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought we were gonna get like him. Oh, I thought like he was gonna confess at that point, and then she was gonna leave town, and that was gonna be like her goodbye.
Side note, I'm really mad at the shot they keep doing of Allison Sweeney's ankles when she's getting kidnapped.
Tony,
you're the only one who's noticing.
No, I noticed it. No, I definitely noticed it.
Thank you. I was the only one that took a picture of him and said, oh, and put it in the group text. They didn't have to show that. Now, granted, I'm gonna give Allison Sweeney a lot of props because that is acting from the tip of your head to the bottom of your feet. Yeah. That's acting.
The chat room is getting a very clear look at what our group texts are like.
But I'm just saying, like, you know, but she really like fell out, and like I appreciate that because Allison Sweeney is a very talented actress, and so you know she is really into it. But I'm like, the shot of her ankles being turned in the way that they were, I was like, we could have kept that shot out. It's not fair, and they replayed it again. It's not fair.
These are our conversations, folks.
Mm-hmm. Oh God. Well, those are the PG ones we have.
The ankle issue is that it wasn't a flattering shot. Like they literally like went in. Like as it, like someone wearing high heels for the first time, and they like, you know, and then their feet kind of turn in because it's like they weeble wobble, but they didn't fall down. Like that was the issue.
It reminded me of like when you put those videos or whatever when they put like shoes on animals and then the animals have to
the animals are like
like
when we tried to put boots on Bimby for the first time.
Collapsing,
it wasn't cute.
All I contributed to this conversation was that those were not the proper shoes.
Oh God.
Some people just don't look good in like certain shoes. That's all I contributed.
Oh man.
And I believe it.
I was. How am I a mess? I wasn't the one that shot it. I wasn't the camera person. I would have said, no, we're not gonna do this. Like I would have, or like gave a note, like Allie, like, you know, like just like have both of them go to the same side or something. Like, you know, it was whatever. Anyway, that was just my side note for me. I love Allison Sweeney. She's my favorite character on Days of Our Lives. She's one of like three on the show. Anyway, to wrap this up, R.I.P. to Duke the Bear. Ava didn't have to cut that bear's head off like she did. She didn't have to do that. But she's also kind of, you are really team Ava.
She had to send a very clear message.
You are giving very Mother Morton, like you are just passing out cigarettes and ramen noodles to everybody. But she's I don't know, I'm just waiting for the crazy Ava to come out. Because she's already starting to unravel. When she told Rafe to go ahead and go to Nicole for the emergency, and she threw that mug, I said, oh. It ain't
That's
that
not really
serious, boo.
crazy. That's more like a Tuesday, Ava.
Yeah.
But you told him to go, and you know why he's going over there. It was because you chopped up that bear. She don't know who did that.
Oh God.
Do you know? But the restraint. She needed to let it out a little bit. Because if she had stayed in the room any longer, she probably would have thrown it at his head.
When you're good to Araceli, she'll be good to you.
Just don't cheat. Just don't cheat and just don't lie. You can be as honest as you want. Be honest. You don't like somebody, be honest about it. Just don't lie.
Oh boy. My mom is very involved today.
People are not gonna like each other. It's okay.
She's Patrizia Gucci. I can't.
Look, in that situation, she should have just gotten a prenup. That's what should have happened. That was the problem. There was not a good prenup involved.
Quote of the day. Quote of the day.
What's the quote of the day?
She's Patrizia Gucci.
My mom just sent a text, and I need clarification on who she's referring to. So once she does, I will let you read what my mom wrote. I really wish my mom was in the chat room. It would be so much.
You need to set her up in there.
It's so much easier. I know. Either her or my niece, one of us, we need to. All right. So before we get into tidbits, y'all, I just want to remind you guys to please make sure you like us and follow us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook, Dishin Days on Instagram, and _ Dishin Days on the Twitter. And of course, you can find us right here on our very own YouTube, channel. You can find us on our YouTube channel. So make sure you click the subscribe button and click the bell so that way you always know when we're going live. And of course, buy our merch. Just go look at it. You can buy something. It'll be all right. Support us. And then send us photos to show us how much you support us. My mom must have put the phone down and started really paying attention to us. All right, so let's get into the tidbit, which is Kate, Chad, EJ, and Roman. Ooh. I just, you know what? Chad, you done figured it out. Why are you helping?
We don't know.
I get it. I get it. I mean, EJ has been, I think EJ has it coming from Chad at least. And
He's
Lucas
been annoying.
Yeah.
He's been annoying. He's been an annoyance, but he's not been like all this stuff. Yes, he's been really rude and arrogant and blah, blah, blah. But in the grand scheme of things, especially the relationship between these two brothers, they're annoyances. It's not worth sending him to prison.
Yeah, I don't think Chad should send him to prison. And I'm not even clear if Chad thought like the evidence would hold up. I feel like he would just want him to get him out of DeNiro, which that I'm in favor of. I think like from Chad's point of view, like EJ kind of stole the company from him.
Yeah, that's one thing.
Yeah. I actually didn't. This is another scene what I was kind of talking about where I didn't understand like the EJ when he came in and he was talking to Chad and Kate and he's like, why would you side with Chad? And like, I gave you a position. It was like, wait, what are you talking about? Like,
well, he did.
Yeah, but he
did.
Yeah,
but honestly,
close to anybody, she's closer to Chad than EJ. Like,
true, but also the reason why EJ is CEO and not Gabby and Jake is because her vote. Remember, blind.
Yeah. But that vote
Kate,
would have went to Chad either, and Chad would have hired Kate anyway. So that's what I didn't understand. He was trying to make it sound like I gave you a job and no one would. Where even if Chad would have just given her the job. Like that's why I didn't understand the whole like you're picking him over me kind of thing.
I'm sorry, I had a picture of blind Kate just in there.
Oh,
EJ. It's funny to me.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just it was interesting, that whole thing. But I also think it just put a bug in EJ's ear that Lucas is the one that did it. He's framing him, and Chad is somehow a part of it. And now, Kate, what do you know?
Yeah.
You know? So I've always liked Chad and Kate's relationship.
Yeah.
I've always thought it was sweet.
But
This
when
history
Kate
there, a
is
lot of history.
disapproving, but it's like Kate is disapproving of something Chad has done. You know that he's stepped in it.
Well, right, and
Because-
it's like Kate is that person. Like it's okay for her to lie and deceive, but she doesn't want that for Chad. Chad's the good one. Chad's the honest one. She doesn't want that
because clearly
for
her
Chad.
2 other children need serious help.
Well, she's still in disbelief that Lucas came up with this plan to kidnap Sammy.
Even she's like, he could have done that. No.
Look, I appreciated when all the stuff happened with Philip. She could see he was in a different headspace. He was really going off the rails, kind of a thing. Yeah. So it wasn't. I expected her to go off on him, but then she slowly started figuring out the way that he was talking was like, oh no. I need to get him professional help.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, I approved of what she did because he was clear. He clearly needed to be like in a therapist's office. Something was like really wrong here.
Mm-hmm.
With Lucas, I need her to beat him upside the head because he knows what he did was wrong. He knows what he did was wrong. Not with an actual hammer. You know, one of those ones you get at Chuck E. Cheese, the blow up ones. You know, the ones you put air in, and you're just like, you need to stop this nonsense.
You know,
you are over 40, 50 years old. You are too old for this nonsense.
But again, not a fully well thought out plan.
Yeah,
what were you gonna do with Sammy? You was just gonna keep her there?
If
Until
anything,
when?
that's more of a reason for Kate to beat him upside the head, because it's like, not only did you do something stupid, you didn't even have the good sense to have a fully fledged out plan.
They never do. Also, side note, my mom says, and I quote, what she, Ava, needs to do is go sat her ass down. Get the stepping.
Yes.
Mama Araceli Morton, do you have anything to say?
I feel like I'm going to get in trouble with Mama more if I say anything more.
Well, we all know you Team Ava, honey. You out at the picket line. Justice for Ava. No to Rafe.
That man
When
deserves
you're
a
good,
lot of stuff
Araceli.
thrown in his face. Like,
Araceli's
remember back in the day
good
when
to you.
remember back in the day we had that thing with the piñata and the chicken and the stuff on Cassie, and yeah, remember that scene, that infamous scene with the piñata and the blood and the chicken? Justin, you remember?
Way back in the day.
I was like,
way back in the day. I feel like I need that above Rafe's head.
Oh wow. Okay, Carrie. All right. Okay. Okay, that's it, right? With that.
I think so.
And that was your week of days, everybody. Whew, we made it through. And now it's time for our favorite part of the show, our segments. And we're going to start with mine, which is Tony's official 3 Snaps Award.
Oh, snap.
All right. So, listen, my 3 snaps goes to the man in red, Johnny DeMera, Mr. Carson Boatman, who has had a fantastic week this week. Not only is he the new devil in town, but he also got the chance to do his first ever Talk with Stefano's Portrait.
Yeah.
So Carson Boatman, Johnny DeMera, you get Tony's official 3 Snaps Award.
Oh snap.
Oh, snap.
Oh, snap. Oh, my gosh.
I think we need to take a moment to appreciate what I'm calling the Carson curve. Or have we already? The Carson curve.
Oh, is there a Carson curve?
Ooh.
Oh, there's a Carson curve.
These group chats, I'm telling you guys.
Oh,
They are not for
We'll text about it
consumption.
later.
They're
Yes.
not for public consumption.
Got
Yes.
it.
We got a glimpse of it this week when he was talking in the mirror and the shot like panned up. I was like, There it is.
And there we have
Good
it.
in that suit. Yeah,
And
look great.
But also, listen, if you're gonna have him dressing in a red suit all the time, get him to.
Yeah.
Why was he still in the same one that he was in for New Year's?
I kind of liked it.
It also looked very much like the one Marlena wore.
Seems
Which one?
appropriate.
When she during the Halloween.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. Oh yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's time for.
Caption that.
Hold on. Wait, where's it at? Oh. There's so much playing. Okay, there you go. Did y'all hear that?
Nope.
No.
Wow. Caption that.
There you go.
Yeah,
All right, this week's Caption That photo also comes courtesy of Devil Johnny or JoDevil in his red suit, multi-worn, cheersing Stefano Demira's portrait. And this week's caption goes to Gregory Zarian on Instagram with his caption, "Crap, I can't raise my eyebrow like that."
Cute.
And that has been Caption That. And now it's time for. What is it time for?
Those were the days.
Oh. Those were the days.
Hey guys, this week's episode, Those Are the Days, I'm taking you back to January 6th, 2016, where we had the death of Daniel Jonas at the hands of Eric in his drunk driving. I remember being really shocked that I feel like they do it rarely where they really commit to like killing off a character. So I know this was like pretty shocking for me to think like, oh, they're actually getting rid of him, kind of a thing. I know he wasn't always the most popular
No,
character.
he was like, for whatever reason, I never minded him, but I just remember reading comments like I didn't understand why. I'm like, what's so bad about him? I never got it.
I feel like he consumed a lot of the show sometimes that I think turned people off. I liked him in certain storylines, but I think overall he consumed.
I remember it being a big deal when he got hired and everyone was excited about it. Yeah. And so it was, like I said, I never minded him, but and then there was this guy who was on the show for like 2 minutes.
He was like the Australian actor that I think won like a contest or something.
Yeah, okay. I saw him and I was like, I know that, and I was like, I couldn't remember what his deal was. Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah. So that was January 6th, 2016, the day Daniel Jonas died.
And don't worry, it worked out for them in real life.
Yeah, right.
It did. Yeah,
it did.
I remember when Ari was on our show and the little monitor on the screen was like, "Ari is here." ... And Daniel, or not Daniel, and
Sean,
and we were like, "Oh, we got a double."
To surprise you guys,
yeah, that was cool.
And those
were the days.
The days. And now it's time for It's a Gift.
This week's It's a Gift goes to who else, guys, but my favorite, Ava. And the cake that I really wish she would have dumped on his face.
Because it looked good.
But there's still time.
It did look good. It looked like a tasty cake.
That was a shock. Yeah.
And just think, she only had one take.
Yeah, right. To get it,
You had to get that right.
Yeah, get the good point. She did a good job with that cake.
Yep, she said.
So,
justice for
in your face.
That's the least you deserve.
Right. And that was It's a Gift. And now it's time for some news and gossip.
Yes, we are starting off with some well wishes to Galen Gehring, plays Rafe Hernandez. He actually posted a little bit of a cryptic post on his Instagram this past week. He was headed up to the Alabama Hills here in California, and he made a post that said, "Seems like a good place to be if one had COVID." So a lot of people were speculating whether he had COVID or maybe a family member had COVID and he was driving them there to quarantine. We're still not sure. He didn't really clarify, but I noticed right before we went on air, he had posted a couple of pictures saying with him by himself, basically being like, "I'm over it." So I'm assuming he did catch COVID and is sort of relaxing and getting better. So we wish Galen a lot of well wishes, and hopefully he's back on set soon, healthy.
Yeah, I mean, during our break, I had it too, but I had no symptoms and no sickness. But I quarantined in my room, and it was great.
Yeah,
it was great.
Get your vaccine.
Get it over.
Vaccine, boosters.
This is
everything.
not going anywhere.
Yeah, but I mean, I say it's great, and people are like, ugh. But it was, I was thankful and lucky that I did have no symptoms, and I was not sick, and I just had a moment to just quarantine by myself and really just get
by
myself
great we mean
back
Tony
together.
did not end up in the hospital.
Yes, exactly.
Which we are very grateful for in the new year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Moving forward, we have one of our favorites, Mr. Billy Flynn, Chad Demira. He is the shade. He's starring in a new short film. This is called The Dangerous Type. You can actually catch it out on Vimeo. Just type in The Dangerous Type. Also on his Instagram @Billy Flynn. He has a link to it. It's a short film. It's about, I want to say, a little bit under 12 minutes. Billy sort of plays the villain in this. I won't tell you much more. Just check it out. It's a good performance. He's definitely not Chad Demira in this. But check it out. It's interesting. It's Billy doing something wildly different. And yeah, check it out. It's, again, Dangerous Type short film on Vimeo.
I will say Billy is a very talented actor.
Yeah.
The last time I saw Billy in something other than Days was a play that he did here in LA.
I remember you telling us, yeah.
And he did such an amazing job in it.
Nice.
That, I gave him a compliment. You guys are welcome. You're welcome, Billy Flynn.
Yeah, so check that out. Next up, we have some virtual Q&As coming up. The first one is we have Mr. Carson Boatman, Raven Bowens. This one is Saturday, January 29th at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. You can get tickets at SpectrumCelebrityEvents.com. It'll be an interesting one. The next one...
Hosted by me.
I was getting to that. Next is one of our favorites, Mr. Christopher.
Y'all in these
and if you'll notice,
Janet.
I did not...
What is going on?
Listen, I purposely picked this photo. So, Christopher Sean, one of our favorites. He's doing a virtual Q&A Saturday, February 5th, the same time, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Both of those virtual Q&As hosted by our very own Mr. Tony Moore.
That's me.
So, yes. Go get tickets, SpectrumCelebrityEvents.com. I don't think Christopher will show up like this, but you never know. But yeah, go get your tickets and find out. Yes. Keep going with Spectrum Celebrity Events. This is our collaboration with them, taking place the weekend of Saturday, March 5th. We have a Salem Proud meet and greet with Mr. Brock Kelly, Mike Manning, Zach Tinker, Lindsay Godfrey, and Christopher Sean again. That one takes place 9 a.m. to 1:30 on the 5th. And later on that night, we have our Septennial dinner celebrating 7 years, Dishin Days, with, again, Mr. Brock Kelly, Nadia Bjorlin, Eric Martzoff, Stacey Hyduke, Paul Telfer, Lindsay Godfrey, Billy Flynn, and Brendan Coughlin. All tickets, information, go to SpectrumCelebrityEvents.com. And there's also, we have some more announcements coming soon. So, yeah. Check out Spectrum.
What announcements do we have coming soon,
Yes,
Justin?
we have a live audience show Sunday, March 6th at 3 p.m. where you get a chance to meet us, the hosts of Dishin Days. Again, SpectrumCelebrityEvents.com. Get your tickets and join us there. Hope to see you.
Okay, well,
We'll be there. Look it, we're there.
This will be our first live Dishin Days with a studio audience. So you guys get to see this live. And hopefully, maybe some guests, but that is yet to be determined. So make sure you go to SpectrumCelebrityEvents.com right now. Tickets are on sale for the virtual event and for the March in-person event as well. So go get your tickets. Go get your tickets. Go get your tickets. Go get your tickets.
We second that. Yes.
I mean, it's not wrong.
No lies told.
No lies detected. All right, you guys. Now let's find out what is coming up this week on Days of Our Lives.
This is the defendant. He's accused of kidnapping his wife after she cheated on him with her ex.
Someone frame me.
It's the case of haughty versus naughty.
You kidnap Samantha! I'll kill you!
Oh my
I
god.
laughed out loud at the People's Court.
Hats off to them.
Judge Wapner.
When it started, I thought you were doing that, Michael. I was like, oh, he's creative.
Well, this is going to be an interesting case.
I'm glad. You know what? I actually am very glad. I don't know how this happened, but it seems like Belle is really on EJ's side for most of the arguments. If it's an EJ versus Sammy thing, and then she always takes EJ's side.
Yeah.
I don't know how it started, but I like it.
Yeah.
She's still mad about the Jan thing. Yeah.
Right. Yes, Michael Mattis. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So that is your week of days. Let's that's my cue. Lord, I haven't done this show in so long.
It's been a while, guys.
Whatever. I think did I? Oh, yep, I did. Everyone, let the kind folks know where they can find you.
You can find me on the Instagram and Twitter at MLMattis.
Justin, where can they find you?
Find me on Instagram at Justin Lee Hareld.
And Araceli, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Tia323 Araceli.
You can find me on all social media platforms at Lounging with Tony. And you can, of course, find us all on Dishin Days show on Facebook, Dishin Days on Instagram, and _Dishin Days on the Twitter. Thank you guys so much for, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much for coming on. It's our, and buy our merch. Thank you guys so much for coming on. This is our first show of 2022. We are so happy to be back with you guys. And we'll see you next Sunday for another full dish of this week's episodes of NBC's #1 award-winning hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. Have a happy Sunday and a wonderful week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.